Deleuzian philosophy, based on the works of the French philosopher Gilles Deleuze, is a complex and radical approach to philosophy that emphasizes difference, becoming, and multiplicity. Deleuze's thought has influenced a wide range of fields, including philosophy, literature, political theory, art, film, and science. His work is often seen as a challenge to traditional metaphysical systems that emphasize fixed identities, stable structures, and hierarchical systems. Deleuze's philosophy is sometimes difficult to categorize due to its rejection of conventional frameworks, but several key concepts and themes run through his work. Key themes in Deleuzian philosophy: difference and repetition. 1. In Deleuze's most famous work, Difference and Repetition, 1968, he challenges traditional metaphysics that prioritizes identity and sameness. 1. For Deleuze, difference is not merely the opposite of identity, it is fundamental to reality. 1. Difference is what drives change, movement, and becoming. 2. Deleuze's concept of repetition is not about the repetitive return of the same thing, but rather about the difference within repetition. 2. Repetition produces novelty, variation, and differentiation over time. 2. This notion contrasts with traditional thinking that views repetition as static or monotonous. Becoming. 1. Becoming is one of Deleuze's most important concepts. 1. Unlike traditional philosophical views that see being as stable and fixed, Deleuze emphasizes the idea that reality is always in a state of becoming, a continuous process of change, transformation, and creation. 2. Becoming is not about moving toward an ideal or final state but about embracing change itself. 2. For example, the process of becoming animal, becoming woman, or becoming other are not about becoming something fixed, but about experimenting with different ways of being and relating to the world. Multiplicity. 1. Deleuze rejects the traditional idea of unity or the one as a foundation for reality. 1. Instead, he emphasizes multiplicity, the idea that reality is composed of diverse, interconnected, and heterogeneous elements that cannot be reduced to a single identity or a unified essence. 2. Multiplicity, for Deleuze, refers to both the diversity of individual phenomena and the processes through which these differences relate and interact. 2. He is critical of any totalizing system that seeks to impose unity or reduce complexity into fixed categories. Anti-Oedipus and Schizoanalysis. 1. In Anti-Oedipus, 1972, co-written with Félix Guattari, Deleuze critiques traditional psychoanalysis, particularly Freud's Oedipus complex, which he believes reduces human desire and social relations to fixed family structures. 1. Instead, he proposes schizoanalysis, a methodology that rejects these normative models in favor of exploring the flows of desire and the ways that power and social systems structure these flows. 2. Schizoanalysis emphasizes desire as a productive force, not merely a reaction to lack, and focuses on how social and political systems shape our desires and identities. Rhizome. 1. Deleuze and Guattari's concept of the rhizome, outlined in their book 8,000 Plateaus, 1980, offers an alternative to hierarchical, tree-like structures of knowledge and social organization. 1. The rhizome is a non-hierarchical, non-linear model that emphasizes multiplicity, connectivity, and the absence of a central point. 2. The rhizome can be used as a metaphor for understanding social structures, knowledge systems, and even individual subjectivity, rejecting fixed points and embracing the idea that any part of a system can connect to any other part in multiple and unexpected ways. Nomadology. 1. In 1,000 Plateaus, Deleuze and Guattari introduce the concept of nomadology as a way of thinking about societies and cultures in non-fixed, dynamic terms. 1. Nomads are contrasted with sedentary, structured societies, represented by the state. 1. Nomadology is a way of analyzing and resisting the rigid, territorializing structures of the state and other forms of control by focusing on the movements, flows, and resistance of individuals and groups outside traditional societal norms. Assemblages. 1. Deleuze and Guattari also use the concept of assemblages to understand the ways in which different elements, human and non-human, material and abstract, come together to form dynamic, relational configurations. 1. Assemblages are not fixed structures but are fluid and constantly shifting combinations of components that can be reassembled in new forms. 1. These assemblages can be seen in everything from social groups to objects and even concepts. The body without organs, BO. 1. The concept of the body without organs, BO, introduced in Anti-Oedipus and 8,000 Plateaus, refers to a form of existence that resists conventional organization and structure. 1. It's a body that rejects the usual categorization of organs and functions, opening up new possibilities for desire, sensation, and becoming. 2. The BO is not a physical body without organs but a metaphorical body, a space for experimentation, flux, and resistance to repressive structures. Desire and capitalism. 1. In Anti-Oedipus, Deleuze and Guattari critique the relationship between desire and capitalism. 1. They argue that capitalism doesn't suppress desire but rather channels and organizes it in specific ways, for example, consumerism, corporate structures, and ideology. 1. Capitalism, in their view, is a system that thrives by controlling the flow of desire and the way it is expressed within the social order. Deleuze's influences and legacy, Spinoza and the philosophy of immanence. 1. Deleuze was deeply influenced by Baruch Spinoza, especially his concept of immanence, the idea that everything that exists is part of a single, unified reality. 1. For Deleuze, this view opposes transcendental or supernatural explanations and embraces the understanding that everything, from human consciousness to the natural world, is interconnected and constantly in flux. Nietzsche and the will to power. 1. Deleuze's ideas are also shaped by the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, particularly Nietzsche's emphasis on becoming, the will to power, and the rejection of fixed values. 1. Deleuze adopts Nietzsche's concept of eternal return, but interprets it as a celebration of difference and continual transformation rather than the return of the same. Félix Guattari. 1. Deleuze collaborated extensively with Félix Guattari, especially in their joint works Anti-Oedipus and 8,000 Plateaus. 1. Guattari's focus on psychoanalysis, political theory, and social movements provided an important complement to Deleuze's philosophical system. Post-structuralism. 1. Deleuze is often associated with the post-structuralist movement, although his thought is sometimes considered a break from it. 1. While post-structuralism focuses on the instability of meaning and the deconstruction of traditional systems of thought, Deleuze goes further by embracing the positive potential of difference, becoming, and creativity. Deleuzian philosophy in practice. Deleuze's work has been applied in many fields, particularly in political theory, art, literature, film studies, and psychoanalysis. His concepts of becoming, desire, and assemblages are used to critique and transform traditional ways of understanding identity, society, and knowledge. 1. In political theory, Deleuzian ideas challenge traditional forms of state power and governance, promoting more fluid and decentralized forms of organization and resistance, such as nomadic resistance. 2. In art and literature, Deleuze's ideas of multiplicity and becoming have influenced new forms of storytelling, visual art, and performance that emphasize process, transformation, and the rejection of fixed meanings. 3. In psychoanalysis, Deleuze's schizoanalysis seeks to offer an alternative to traditional Freudian psychoanalysis by embracing the complexity and fluidity of human desire. Conclusion: Deleuzian philosophy is a radical and dynamic approach to understanding reality, subjectivity, and society. By emphasizing difference, multiplicity, and becoming, Deleuze challenges traditional metaphysical systems and opens up new ways of thinking about the world. His work offers tools for critically engaging with power, identity, and desire, and continues to inspire a range of academic fields and activist movements.